I'm not trying to be the asshole in this situation, but you're sitting here telling me to stay encouraged and we're with you. You are adjacent to my struggle, but you're not with me. You're not in this shit getting burned right now. You're close to the fire and it's sweating and you're hot, but you are not consistently getting burned, and I'm just tired of this. If you are tired of the roller coaster that I'm talking about that I experienced, that's okay. I am tired of being on the roller coaster. I'm sitting on my front porch trying to remind myself of the hope that I have, because I'm like tapped out financially, so I'm very frustrated, and the advice I keep getting is keep going, and it's like, no shit, Sherlock. And Brandon sent a voice note and sent a voice note to encourage us this morning, but I'm like, y'all are not in the same place that I am at. Like, respect to them and I love them, but it's like, him part-time for a couple hours a week is making half of what I make in a month working full-time. And it's not no money, right? It's like, it's not no money for either of us, but he still like has the opportunity and option to go make his other bread. I do too, but I've been hustling on so many opportunities, and it's like, I don't have a spouse to lean on. I reached out to my mom just to talk to her about my frustration, and she was just like, she offered prayer, which is great. I'm grateful for that, but it's like, what the freak am I actually supposed to do right now? I've reached out to a ton of professional contacts. I've applied for a bunch of jobs. I think the most insulting part about all of this is it's not that I don't have any money from lack of diligence or lack of work or just business not working out. Several publications are talking about the party that I started in Atlanta with my business partner, talking about it being the best party in Atlanta right now. That shit got stolen from me. I don't get paid off of it. I don't get anything from it. So I'm restarting it in Austin with Brandon, but it's like, we gotta start over. That shit is bringing in thousands upon thousands of dollars, like netting after every event, and I'm getting none of that, but that shit is my intellectual property. I have a tattoo on my arm that I got to advertise the party before we ever launched it way back in 2019. It's 2023 and I'm literally reading publications talking about how incredible the party that I started is. Yeah, homeboy kept it going. Shout out to him. I'm not taking that shit away from him. But what he did take away from me is my ability to eat off of my intellectual property. All because I was trying to give him some space to do his thing, because there was some animosity with his girl at the time, and I was like, I'm not gonna be in this situation. She don't like me. I'm a backup, right? But I still get a residual. I get to throw it in other cities. I'm not getting paid. Across 2 years, we spent $80,000 on the festival that we started. $80,000, yo. I've never made more than $40K in a year. $80,000 we spent across 2 years. Basically what I've made, the most I've ever made. We don't have that shit. They threatened legal action. So I exited and I was like, cool, take it, but don't take the name. Y'all some shiesty humans, right? Okay. The last 7 months we've spent about $15K on labor and events and flights to manage an artist who never signed a deal. I didn't want to keep going with him after 2 months, but I'm not the only decision maker in this situation, so we stuck with it for 7 months, and we never got paid, we never got reimbursed, and we lost out on all the commissions, so that's another probably 20K. So we're looking at 100K across the last 2 years. That's not including the party that I'm losing out on I can't even calculate that because I don't know thousands of dollars, yo. Sent me a voice note about an event that he went to for a label that I gave their entire business structure to and brought all the artists that I thought they should sign. What did they do? They took the business structure and they signed the artists, and I didn't get paid. I'm not getting paid. So he's like, oh, this one person is being loyal. No, that one person is not getting paid, so they don't want to work with those people. This whole shit is my idea. This whole thing is something that I created and somebody else took and used, saying that they were going to hire me, and they never did. And they never paid me for the 8 months that I worked on that project with them. They never paid me for the intellectual property of the new business structure that I created for them. Even last year, several artists that we managed, they finessed their way out of not paying us our manager commissions for the back half of the year because allegedly we didn't have paperwork, which we did. But my lawyer said this shit is just complicated. To sue for that, it may cost it may cost us to pay him what it costs to get that money back, or the equivalent to the money that we lost. So I'm tired of people saying I'm with it, I'm in it with you. You're not. You're not looking at trying to figure out how to pay rent in 2 months. You're not looking at the heartache and the heartbreak of actually people taking your intellectual property and living in the reality of how incredible it is that it's actually financing their whole lives, paying their bills, giving them leverage to go out and make other deals. And I'm just sitting here like, what the freak is going on? I'm tired of people saying they're in it with me because you're not living in it with me like this. You're not. You don't understand what it's like to go through that process time and time again, where you're literally looking at the thing that you built prosper and feed not a handful of people. I'm looking at hundreds of people prospering off of the structures that I built, and I'm stuck and I'm not eating. You're not in that with me. You're not living in that reality. Even if people have done you wrong, you're not experiencing that. You're not holding the weight of still having to pay a staff when you're not paying yourself. Nobody's in that with me. Brandon, to a degree, is in that with me, but a lot of this were my ideas. So it's like, it still hurts in a different way. He did work on it, he built it, he created things, but Trap Sushi is my thing. That was not something he ever worked on with me. So now it's like, yeah, he's helping launch it in Austin, but that shit came to me 2018 in Troop's basement with Troop. But Troop winning off of that. Brandon was not building the other label with me. They called me, I sat with them, I flew out to them, I built with them, call after call after call, structure, email, all this, that was me. So he's still not feeling that type of weight with me. Cool, you was in it, we were working on the other artist stuff, but it's like, you were not flying out to all these things. You were not on the phone with him late at night. You were not dealing with the ins and outs of this. You're not on the phone with the lawyer. You're not talking to Brandon about, hey, I don't think we should do this, but we still end up doing it, and then we get burned. That's not when we did the festival. You're not up all night. You're not crossing the street talking to these people, using all your favors. You're not burning a bridge with the venue that you built with for years just to get the venue for free. You're not in this shit with me. You are not spouseless with nobody to lean back on. You are not in this with me. I'm in a different situation, and I respect that everybody loves me and they're trying to take care of me, but I am dealing with some shit, and I'm holding some shit that people have not had to hold or deal with. You literally went to an event that was built off of something that I created, and then called back to report to me to tell me about, oh, this person is being loyal to me. You just found out that they even got mixed into the situation that I brought them into 2 years ago. You're reporting to me shit I already knew. I created this joint. And it's like crazy, because it's like, I'm not trying to be the asshole in this situation, but you're sitting here telling me to stay encouraged and we're with you. You are adjacent to my struggle, but you're not with me. You're not in this shit getting burned right now. You're close to the fire and it's sweating and you're hot, but you are not consistently getting burned, and I'm just tired of this. I'm having to rearrange my entire life right now to figure out how I can survive. You are not living in this with me. And this is not on some like, oh, I was broke pursuing a music career shit. Everybody has lived through that. This is on some, I'm looking at everything that I've done do well and I'm not doing well. I'm over this. I'm so over this.